What is up, everyone? Welcome to another AOS R&D with whatever Saga of Dice podcast. Great start as usual, everyone. What's up? With me as usual is Carson's avatar. How you doing tonight, Carson?
There we go. Okay. Sorry.
That was amazing timing. What do you mean?
I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well.
Your camera was updating just now.
My camera was in fact updating. I noticed that it wasn't doing its fancy when I lean over here, zooming in on my face thing, and then it turns out that it had an update, and it just disables all of the fancy features whenever there's a pending update, which is the stupidest thing in the world. But here we are.
Indeed. What are you gonna do? Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I got Robin, Danny, and Ledivicus in the chat. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, rushing up. Hopefully the mic's okay. Like, once again, I didn't change anything, so let me know if it sounds okay. Yeah, I've still got this wallpaper from doing the Ghoul Slayer video up. So yeah, I don't know if you guys got a chance to check that out, but I put a lot of thought into it, and I actually that was the second. Actually, no, that was the third video I made, and after getting some feedback on it, I made it again. But yeah, really enjoyed Ghoul Slayer, and I've got like one chapter left of what's it called, Soul Slayer, and man, they get better. They actually get better. But yeah, welcome, guys. Bone Singer Dance, heck yeah. Yeah, I won't say what originally came to mind, but yeah. So I guess why don't we talk about this rumor engine?
This is the first time I'm seeing it. Actually, it's kind of interesting and very Tyranny,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the crest of the Zoanthropes. A little bit.
Yeah,
like
that
the
makes
inside
sense.
of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
It's
It also
got
kind of looks like like the spore cyst thing
Yep.
as well, like
Wait,
the top
what
of that.
part of it? The top of, you mean like the middle bit where the mouth?
Yeah, kind of. Or like it almost looks like the top of like a Tyranid drop pod or something weird to me.
Yeah. That would be cool. I could see that. I mean, the
Tyrannocyte? Yeah.
The Tyrannocyte's a new, like, it's I think obviously not including like it's one of the newest kits, the Tyrannocyte. I think it came out in 7th, which for Tyranids is brand spanking new.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm not saying necessarily it's that. It's just that's what it reminds me of.
I could definitely see that. I mean, it's not going to be the Zoanthrope, and it's not going to be the Tyrannocyte. So neither one of us is saying like it's going to be this. It's just like it has shapes and reminiscent, features of a couple of different things. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Unless it's like the top half of like an Eldar-esque helmet, but the helmet is like warped or ocean themed in some way.
I mean, that might, if it's ocean themed Eldar, that might get me into Eldar. That's like the only thing. But I mean, we know that Tyranids are getting a gigantic, re-release or whatever, redo. I don't know what to call it. So I feel like Tyranids is like the low hanging fruit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to point out though, if you look at like, how do I explain this? Like the middle ridge, right? And that line that goes in the middle. I think this is extremely zoomed in. Because it's
so?
like, it's kind of rough. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Because the guys that paint these things are amazing, right? And that line, if this is like the size of, like, for example, a Zoanthrope, that line is not that clean. But if it's something like small, like at biggest, I would say probably like the size of like a termagant's shell kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like if it's like that big, then that line is totally understandable and respectable. It just looks like you can kind of see the paint too much. Like, you know what I mean? I think Carson is frozen. He looks deep in thought. I'm going to pull up. Oh, I thought he came back for a second. Oh, what the? Am I still live? Please tell me I'm still live. Oh, wait. Okay. It looks like I'm still live. I wonder if... No one else is in this meeting, everyone. Oh, wow. His power went out. Whoa. Okay. I'm just letting him know it's all good. Mutated Teletubby. I mean, isn't that a Tyranid? Right? Oh, man. I missed a couple of great messages. I have a nest egg of FEC put up. Nice. Is that? I think you mean in the Discord, Robin. I'll check it out in a little bit. The 3 triangular dots right above where it says rumor engine is what has me confused. Right above. Oh, yeah. Weird. I still think... So you could look at that and... Oh, man. Is that concaved or convexed? What do we think? I think it's convexed, and maybe that's like some kind of like spore. You know what I mean? I don't know how to finish that sentence safely, but orifice, pure introspective thought, right, Danny? Yeah, he's gonna. It's gonna be a little while because if his power's out, his router and or modem rather, and everything's gonna need to come back on. Mutated Teletubby is my favorite so far. I would love that. Alien Flower. Oh, I don't know if you're saying the same thing that I'm like, that just kind of inspired in me, but I was thinking about this the other day. So the rumor that I heard for AOS 4, which is obviously a year away from now, but the rumor that I heard was Stormcast versus Skaven. Now I've been saying Skaven versus something. Hey, wow, that was pretty quick.
Sorry, more specifically, the power didn't go out. The breaker blew, just because.
Oh my goodness!
My partner decided to use the hairdryer on the same circuit.
Oh no, yeah, that's sorry to your partner. I've done that so many times, like in the winter when we're gonna film in the studio, and I've got like a portable heater, and I turn it on so it's not as bitterly cold as it gets in there, and then I'm like, I've got another one of these. I'll just turn on the other one. Boom, like instantly, and so Ludivicus just said Alien Flower about this, right? And before I forget, someone else pointed out, see the 3 dots, like at the very bottom of the picture?
Yep.
What if that's like some kind of orifice or something where it shoots like spores? I don't know what else to call it. A pooter. A spore pooter. Is that any better? I can't tell.
A flower farter. Yep.
Yeah, a flower fart. So Ludivicus said, what if it's some kind of... It's a cloaca? Doesn't it have to be more convex than that? I like where your head's at. Clearly in the same spot mine is. What if it... I keep not being able to say this. So I was bringing up... You know how we heard that rumor that the next box set is AOS 4 is Skaven versus Stormcast, right?
You think it's going to be Stormcast?
Well, we heard a rumor.
Okay.
You and I both did on a mutual Discord. I won't.
Sorry.
Well, I don't. Maybe you didn't read it, but a mutual friend of ours put on a mutual Discord of ours that I don't know if this person. I don't think he cares, but like anyway, that it's going to be Stormcast versus Skaven for AOS 4, right? Now, as you know, I've been saying for ages now, it's got to be Skaven. Like, it has to be Skaven, has to be the main or the bad guy faction. And I was hoping it was going to be like some kind of elf faction, even if it's LRL. Like, LRL is a joke right now where they keep getting releases, but they still have nothing compared to Stormcast. The easy money is on Stormcast, right? But I was thinking about that today and how that's probably the most likely scenario, right? And so then I was thinking today, I wonder if they're going to have like Skaven themed terrain that comes out around that time. And then Ladificus just said, what if it's an alien flower? And I'm thinking, well, the same thing could be applied to Tyranids. What if they start releasing, like, even though in the last edition of 40K and AOS, we didn't really have, the closest thing we've had to like army themed terrain for everyone was the Warcry stuff, which had a bunch of like Seraphon sort of ruins around the meat trees and stuff like that. But I hope both is true, is I guess what I'm trying to say. What do you think?
That's an interesting take. I think that could be true, yeah. It would be interesting to see more terrain releases that aren't just like ruins of some kind as well. I also like that Warpstone Enjoyer said that my wallet is not ready for Skaven terrain. That's a great name and a great comment for that name.
Warpstone Enjoyer, Warpstone Enthusiast. Yeah, I love that. That's a fantastic name. Totally agreed. Romulan Dog says, "What about Doom Wheels versus everything?" Yeah. Okay,
that's gotta be it.
Here's the thing, though, Romulan Dog. What we really need first is Doomwheel battle line. Okay. Then we need a Doomwheel like character, like Ikit type model inside a Doomwheel, right? And then we're all happy, right?
What if it's like a Storm Fiend or something? Or sorry, Vermin Lord that has a Doomwheel on the outside of it, and he's like going around like a hula hoop. And then just like smashing people with it.
I was thinking like his lower half is a Doomwheel.
That works too. That's good too.
Like I was almost called him like Timmy from South Park, but that's not accurate at all. But I still kind of like that idea. But that would be because there's no Scryer Vermin Lord and there's no Molder Vermin Lord. So what if it's a 2-part kit, and one of them is the lower half is a Doomwheel, and the other one, the lower half is like a Hell Pit. And that's the way it's a dual kit. Right?
Yeah. And then if you bought 2 kits, you could make an upper half, what was it called? Hell Pit, and then lower half Doomwheel, and then you would just have this horrible thing. Your opponent just goes like, what the my God.
I hope that's right. I mean, yeah. That actually sounds really awesome, to be honest.
Meat cycle?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like your kind of thing. My wallet is not ready either, Warpstone. I actually tried to make my own Skaven terrain out of like MDF foam and like what's it called? That paper mache stuff, epoxy sculpt or no. What's it called? You know what I'm talking about though, right? It's like an air drying like paper mache thing that people use for that. It's still in my garage. It was way harder than I thought it was going to be. But you have a dream. We need a Hellpit Abomination that has 3 Doom Wheels for legs. The Doom Wheel tricycle Abomination. Hey, heck. Okay. Romulan Dog, build it, and we will come. You know? Right.
I get it. Yep, I get it.
Damn it.
I don't know if that came out right.
It didn't come out right. That was supposed to be a reference to a baseball movie. But
nonetheless, build it and we will come.
I mean, like, the original statement stands for sure. Oh, dear God. But, I mean, seriously, because if Skaven are coming, like, my wallet is ready for AOS for Skaven to get a full re-release, right? I've been preparing for this since the day I was born, right?
There's like your son's college fund, rainy day emergency
I
fund,
told you that in
then
secret.
gave an emergency fund
No,
as
as
well.
soon as we get the announcement, I pull down like one of those projection screens, and lights automatically go on, and they reveal my dastardly Skaven plan of how I'm gonna pull this off.
You press the big red button, and all of the money from your son's college fund empties into your Skaven account, and you're like, sorry.
Yeah.
I told you this could happen someday.
I'm gonna give him a chance though. I'm gonna give him I'm gonna just shoot it all around in a booth, and whatever he can grab out of the air, he can take, and then he can have that.
What if it's just loonies though? He's just getting pelted by loonies in this machine.
What else would it be? What do you mean? Of course it's loonies and toonies, right? It's survival of the fittest, Carson.
You just stick him in an MRI machine with a bunch of loonies and toonies and just. Sorry, that's horrible. But that's the only way you could get them to fly. I feel like wind wouldn't be enough.
It sounded Skaven. Yeah, that's true actually. Here, I'll use magnets, Carson. Magnets. Wait a minute. Actually, it's galvanized metal that they're made out of. I don't think that even works. Whatever. Anyway. Okay. Ikit is a fantastic character, Romulan Dog. I go back and forth. I really love Ikit. I really love Queek. I really love Thanquol. And I really love Deathmaster Snitch. And who I love the most literally just depends on the time of day, effectively. Hey buttheads. What up, Dan?
Someone just called his name in chat. We have to ban him right now. Ban that man.
I mean, we could both kind of make it happen. I don't think you can really see that. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome, Dan. Make it happen, Captain. Yeah. Welcome to the meathead dimension. It looks like it's made out of meat, too. That's the best part. Like, in that background, it's like, here's my meat hammer. Yeah, so... Tretch is the clear number 2. Really? Wow, that's an interesting take. Tretch was don't get me started, okay? So, that's the rumor engine. You could do it yourself. Heck yeah. So we've got some hobby kind of takes. I was just, I won't go through everything, but like they put it up. Leviathan comes out this Saturday. So the day before Father's Day. So it's really exciting, and a lot of people are looking for it. So I just thought I'd point people towards the, okay. I got it, Romulan Dog. I just tend to take things at, face value. I think that's the safest thing to do in most cases. I wanted to point out, I really liked Jessica Smart. And I like Thor's here too, but I think Jessica Smart's, it's just got that purple-green combo that I really like in general. But there's a bunch of cool sort of paint schemes, and I know people are going to be looking for paint schemes to paint their Tyranids when it comes out. This is another one I really liked, Carrie's. But I like, Emma's here too, which has got a very original take. The white carapace would be a pain in the butt, but it sure looks amazing when it's done. Yeah. Tretch was my least favorite in Total War of all the Skaven Lords, but even though what's his name, Throt the Unclean is not my favorite character, I think his campaign was the best, and then Deathmaster Snitch. I also really like this one here. I don't know how to pronounce this. John Gomez from Pinturriando Miniatures. Really cool. Yo, Dan, thank you so much, man. Gobapalooza value is going up. It so is. Yeah. Okay, so that is going to be the discussion. Thank you again, Dan. That's really generous. Really nice of you. In Mortal... I'm not sure what that is. So, before I forget... we'll go on to this is the actual topic. So also they showed off this insane. Did you see the Death Leaper, Carson? The new Death Leaper?
The new one? Yeah. I
What the?
think almost like it has a cape. Pretty
Yes,
crazy.
the flesh cape. But do you see the little like claw hands around the tips? Um,
Oh yeah.
the face, the hands. Oh my god! Like the Cthulhu mouth. Uh, this I think is my favorite Tyranid model they've shown. Like our favorite Tyranid model ever now. Like I absolutely love it. It looks like it's going to be on a bigger base though. I don't. Did they show? Yeah, they did. Like see the size. I think this is supposed to be a size comparison. So that's pretty. Yeah, yeah, dude. Nuking stuff with Ikit is the funnest part about him for sure. Also, just unlimited ammo, rattling guns. What did you think though? Is this gonna suck you back into Tyranids, Carson? No,
Can't do it. No. Can't
not,
do it.
not
Nothing's
enough.
gonna suck me back in.
Not enough.
Nothing. No, it does look super cool, but I'm being very careful with what I spend much more money on at the moment.
Absolutely, always a good idea. As you, yeah, Romulan says he's got the Leviathan box says it's got him concerned he's going to start 40k. I don't blame you. You know, rules aside, all the new Tyranid models are unbelievable. So, yeah, hopefully that continues. We haven't. Oh, and then I don't know if people care or not. Like if this is part of like, for lack of a better word, purview of what we do. But they did do like a preview of the gameplay of Realms of Ruin, that like new console optimized RTS set in the Age of Sigmar universe. So yeah, that's, you know, they've showed, you know, some previews, so I just thought I'd bring it up. But yeah, is there anything we should talk about before we go into the topic at hand?
I don't think so. It was a pretty good preview of all of the other stuff so far, so
Yeah,
let's do it.
I've been really enjoying it, so yeah. Cool. Okay, so we did get the announcement that it is coming soon, first of all.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's the cover. Now the cover leaked, but they did like officially announce that it's going to be one GHB until effectively AOS 4. Like they didn't say it, but that's what they mean.
Yeah.
The Gaunt Summoner on the front cover is the perfect like choice of thing to put on the front cover. Interesting that they did a Skaven Grey Seer in the last one. So two
Yeah,
chaos things in a row.
I guess the Great Steer still counts as a Galatian champion though, so like
Oh no, totally. I mean, I approve. I loved the art that they did for it, and for this one as well. I played my first game of Zeech on Sunday with Roman. It won't be a battle report because they're not painted, and thank God, because like I was going into it with the assumption, under the assumption that they were the most complicated army or most difficult army in AOS, right? And I'm not saying that they are, but just, you know what I mean? Like working under that assumption, but they're way more complicated and difficult than I thought. like it took us so long to play, mostly because I was paralyzed by indecision. But putting that aside, sorry. But anyway, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I lost by like 2 points to his Virkos, Legion of Blood. Or not Legion of Blood. Virkos, what's it called? Bloodline, Soulblight Gravelords. I just couldn't remove the models. He had like 60 zombies and a bunch of direwolves, and I just couldn't remove them in time to kind of come back. But it was really fun, and Roman's a blast to play.
yeah, I'm excited to get some games against Zinch soon.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, like, let's do it, man. I think they're, you know... So, we did see like a preview of their win rate, and it dropped to like 50%. I think that's an outlier. I don't think they're going to be that, and I certainly don't think that they're going to be that in the new Magic focused General's Handbook. But Warpstone Enjoyer says, chuckled when they made a big deal about the format going back to 1 year GHBs. 6-month format is the outlier. I think what you mean is there was only one 6-month iteration, right, Warpstone? We did 1 year.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Is it? I thought Bounty Hunters was 6 months. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't. If we did Bounty Hunters for 1 year, I think we would have all been like jumping off the side of buildings, right? It seemed longer than it was, though. I'm sure whatever it was, like let's say it was a year, I'm sure it felt like 2 years. But yeah, wasn't a slan to go with the new slan models. That would have been cool too. I mean, they've got lots of art, although I guess they're doing new art for all of these. Yeah, GVs and GCs were 6 months each. Every other GHB has been 1 year. Oh yeah, wait, GVs, yeah. So that's what I mean. So GVs was Bounty Hunters, and then GCs is, the current edition. I see what you're saying. So it was 1 year. So AOS came out in 2021, and we had the first GHB that was about monsters, right? And then I think you're right. I think there was a year of that to the summer. And then I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure about that. It's interesting. Anyway, so we got a small preview. We don't know much, but we do know that it's going to be very Magic focused, right? They've made that pretty apparent. So, okay. In this battle pack, your wizard heroes with a wounds characteristic of 9 or less and who are not unique. So the thing that I immediately noticed about that was it doesn't say do not have a mount. So I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I'm so tired of worrying about if things have a mount or not,
Yeah.
They gain the Andorian? Andorian?
I think, yeah.
Sure. I think Andorian sounds better. Makes me think of Andor, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andorian Locust keyword. Each round, the player with the second turn, so taking the bottom of the turn, can pick one hero to take advantage of the swelling magic in Andor with optimal focus. If they're an Andorian Locust, that rhymes, which is fantastic, they can cast and unbind an extra spell that round. Otherwise, they gain a free command point for issuing commands. So if you're not a wizard, you could just choose to just get an extra CP. So that means, and another thing that this kind of points out to me is that they're not just going to be thinking about, okay, it's not like, okay, if you're a wizard, then the rich get richer. It looks like they're also going to focus on non-wizard armies like Khorne or KO or Fire Slayers. Like, even if you don't have wizards, you'll still be able to get something from this. You know what I mean? Which is really good news, because it was like Bounty Hunters, and even this season, it was a little bit of, like what about those who don't have, like they seem to sort of glance over it. But it doesn't surprise me that they're, going with a more well-rounded approach, being that they've already announced this is going to be a year of this. What do you think about that, Carson? I'm going to go get my wet palette and some water to paint with, but I can hear everything.
Cool. Sounds good. While Rob go gets moist, I will I will review this single paragraph. No, I like it because, as Rob said before, it's like those that do not have are clearly at a disadvantage. But for this, it's like if you're of the specific, if you have these specific traits, which is 9 wounds or less and not unique, and you're a wizard, then you get this. But then it says, otherwise, literally everybody else, you can just get a free command point. It doesn't restrict it to like, no mounts or anything like that. It doesn't restrict it by wounds or anything. I could have a Frostlord on Stonehorn, get a free command point if I wanted to, which
No,
is
you
pretty
can't.
cool.
Because
Nope,
don't they still need to be?
nope. It just says pick one
Oh,
hero.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, that's so. Oh, that
So it could
I
even
missed
be a
that.
unique hero. It could be Thanquol. It could be.
Right. Wait.
So I really like that actually because
Yeah.
now we don't have armies that are worried about having too many named heroes. We don't have armies that are worried about having like huge heroes, even giants, like Earth Sons of Behemoth. They're
Yeah.
totally fine with this. Like, yeah, I like that because it's like you get this cool special thing if you satisfy these constraints, but otherwise you just get a free command point, which is it's great.
And then if your
The only
general's
thing,
alive, you're starting. You can basically guaranteed 4 command points if you're taking the bottom of the turn, which this
yeah.
is predicated on.
So the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is that, and I mean, I guess it's not always, but you typically have a pretty good advantage going second in AOS in general. And they
Going
keep
and on the first turn, yeah.
on the first turn, yeah, because obviously you put your opponent in danger of being double turned. Um, so this is again further reinforcing that taking second is actually better because this is locked behind only if you go second.
Yes.
Now, again, if you do get double turned, then you get to have like an extra unbind with one of your heroes, which is pretty nice.
Yep.
But
What if they like? I mean, this is not the rule clearly, but what if they had said after the first turn?
I think that would be fine. Yeah.
That would have like helped what you're talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing that I'm kind of confused about as well is that it says every round you get to do this.
Yeah.
And then for the wizard, they just get an extra cast or an extra unbind, and that's that applies in both turns. But for the free command point for issuing commands, you get that once for both turns, right? It's not like a heroic action so basically you get like one command point for that hero
Yeah.
for the entire battle round, and that's it.
Oh, right. Okay. Wait. Let's read this again. Your wizards with a wound characteristic of 9 or less and who are not unique gain the Andorian Locus keyword. Each round, the player with the second turn can pick one hero to take advantage of this. Oh, I see. With optimal locus. One hero to take advantage of the swelling magic in Andor with optimal focus.
So the nice thing is that the free command point,
Oh.
based on my understanding of how this works, is that you would get that command point at the beginning of the battle round, and you could spend it at any time
Yes.
that entire battle round, which
Yes.
is kind of nice because when you do heroic, what is the CP on a 4-up again? The heroic action,
Heroic leadership?
heroic leadership. Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the water.
We always everyone knows it's a 4-up command point, but when you do that, you have to spend that on that turn, which is one constraint that kind of sucks. Whereas this is just you get it, which is kind of cool.
But then if the hero gets killed before they spend it, then theoretically, right?
That's true. Yeah.
But I mean, I agree. It is better. It's like when there's some heroes where it just says roll a dice at the start of the round. If you get a 4-up, you get a CP, and that's so much better than this hero has to use this CP this turn, not even battle round. That you just notice a big like difference in that, like the Slan or the Fungoid Cave Shaman, that kind of deal. Yeah, I mean, overall, I like it. I like the direction of it.
I like it too.
It seems.
I think it's also nice. I actually think that this is. I know everyone's going to look at like Zeech and like already spellcasting heavy armies and be like, this is going to affect that so much.
Totally.
But I actually think this is better for armies that have a very light amount of spellcasting, because suddenly, let's say you have a 1-cast wizard, like it's doubled now if you go second.
Yeah.
Which is far better than if you had a 2-cast going to 3. It's diminishing returns, right?
That's absolutely true. Also, if you like for stuff like Skaven, for example, if they can spend a warp spark and re-roll their casting, it's just all casting. So if you have it like, let's say you do this on an engineer, then yeah, they're doubled. But it does. I mean, it does also help other like Zeech units like the Ogroid. Like before, like you took Arcane Tome just so he could have another spell, so he's not just casting his War Scroll spell. You know what I mean? But like, so this is gonna really help out them as well. But yeah, anyone with like moderate casting, as you said, like it's just awesome, to be honest. In general, I think it's great. Yeah, the Zeech and Lizards pick up, that's big, except for the summoning points that Zeech and Lizards pick up. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, so it also helps them out. But like if you go, let's even just look at this from the point of view of like an army that doesn't have strong spell casting. I've got like two examples of it that might be even stronger, right? So the first one is Khorne, right? Khorne is already anti-magic, right? You attempt to cast spells on them, you make them stronger most of the time. And the more spells you try and cast that might not even do anything, the more likelihood you have of making them significantly stronger, right? So like Zeech into Khorne is already really, really strong. But it's to the point where you probably don't want to give Khorne the bottom of the turn because they get an extra CP automatically on top of it. You know what I mean? And then the other example I had of like a middling magic army that this could be hugely beneficial to was like Null Myriad OBR, where they're just like, yeah, you can cast those spells, but what is it, 73% of the time roughly we don't care. Oh no, 83% of the time roughly we don't care. And then it just kind of helps them out. Like they could just take the CP, for example, and then they're rocking 4 CP at least that turn to the top player's 2, and who knows what the battle plans have in store for. I like that they're trying to discourage taking the top of the turn in general. I don't think it's perfect, as you kind of said. You know what I mean?
I would like it if there was a benefit for both. It would be kind of nice. Where it's like if you are going second, then you get this, and if you're going first, you get this.
But if you're going first, going for a double is already really powerful. You know what I mean? So like if you take the second, like let's say you're going the top of second or top of 3, then you're like, you already want to take it and likely crush their army and take everything out. You know what I mean? So like if they gave them something else, I feel like it might be like it would take away from the impetus to give the turn away. It will depend on the battle plans a lot though. Like, who knows what that will change. But
yeah.
What do you think though? Like, what would you argue? Like, what would be better for you?
I think what would be interesting is if you had some sort of CP gain for the player that was going first. Actually, I don't know. I don't have a well-formed thought on this, to be honest. I always have a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to like constantly buffing the player that's going second. But one interesting thing that I noticed as well is that you pointed out the command point. You could kill the hero before they end up spending it. But the same is true for if it's an Andorian Locust. Like, you can kill that hero before they get to cast their extra spell.
That's
right?
true. Absolutely.
Yeah. And another thing as well,
because they are going second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And another thing as well is that even if you have a wizard, you might not want to pick a wizard. Or so you might not want to pick them to just cast an extra spell. Maybe it's more valuable to you to have an extra command point on a non-wizard hero.
That's
right?
what I was even thinking, actually. I was going to say that as well. It's just that like sometimes it's in certain armies, like in Gits, I'm just like, I don't need command points, bro. Like I cut them coming out of every pocket. But some armies are starved a lot of the time. So yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Do a Starborn Slan that can be 2 summoning points. You mean, I think you mean per cast, right? And then due to the command trait, a Lord of Celestial Resonance. I think that's what that is when, yeah. I don't look at Dirty Starborn. I'm just kidding. I don't play them, but I don't think they're dirty. They're celestial. How can they be dirty? Okay, so that's this Andorian Locust thing, right? And then optimal focus. At the start of the battle round, after priority is determined, the player taking the second turn can pick one friendly hero on the battlefield. If that hero is an Andorian...
Same thing.
Oh, is it the same thing? Dang it.
Yeah.
I was concentrating. I was like half making... I thought I was phasing in and out of reality again. Okay. So then, should I just go on to reading this?
Magic, the spell? Yeah.
So actually, before we do that, the interesting thing is here, Lore of Primal Frost. So we're getting at least one more spell.
Yeah. I would imagine it's at least 4, probably, to be like a full-on spell lore.
4,
that makes a
well,
lot of sense to me.
I think the minimum is 3 to call it a spell lore. Like the great...
That's true.
Skaven and a bunch of armies have just like 3.
So at least 3 spells is what we're thinking.
At least 3, yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least, yeah, 3. Let's say 3. I think 3 is... spell is something. Dan says, yeah, it's crazy, but here let's go over it first. Okay, so first of all, Hoarfrost is a spell that has a casting value of 8. That is really high. A lot of armies are going to struggle to get that. But I guess you could say rich get richer kind of thing. Like, anyway, a range of 12 inches. If successfully cast, pick one friendly unit wholly within range, visible to the caster. Pick one melee profile, so you can only do it on one part of it, on that unit's war scroll, and roll a d3. Change the hit to wound or to rend characteristic of that melee weapon to match the result until the start of the next hero phase. For example, if the result was a 2, so if you roll a 3 or 4 on the d3, that becomes a 2. You could either change the hit to 2+, the wound to 2+, or the rend characteristic of -2. I think that this is really, really fun.
It's very good.
It's really good. It's really good. You have to be close. You have to be close. You have to be able to get an 8. An 8 is not easy. But I love it. I really love it, to be honest. Like, there's so many units that can like benefit from this in like so many different ways. A lot of people talked about Squigherd. We talked about it on the Discord. By the way, if anyone wants to join the Discord, there is a link in the description below. It's a blast on there. We were talking about this when it first came out, and like many people, my first thought was Squigherd. You could make them, if you change their hit to anything on the D3, either that means they go to 3 up at worst, then they're 3 up. You can add to their rend, do mortals on 6s. They become better, a lot better, no matter what you roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this doesn't apply to the Squigherd as well, but it also just straight up changes the characteristic, which means you can still modify it to hit roll with all out attack.
Exactly. So, and if you're hitting on a 1-up, ones to, unmodified ones are always fails, but if they have -1 to wound, which is not that uncommon now, they're still hitting on 2s, -2 to wound is unheard of. There are ways of stacking it, but still, it's wild, man. Arc of Sotek, Bastillodon, pretty good too. Yeah, exactly. Because that's a melee attack.
I think it was a misspell. We just said Bastillodonus, which makes me think there's like the Adonis of Bastillodons. just a super handsome Bastillodon.
I thought he was like a Bastillodon dentist,
Bastilladontist, yeah.
But I like yours better. Just like super muscly, gleaming. Marvel statue.
Everyone thinks that Bastiladonus is the most handsome Bastiladon.
Yeah.
Such a handsome boy.
Giant rats, absolutely warpstone. There's so many. My second thought was Croxagore, because because they're currently hitting on fours except for the champion. So if they're hitting on anything, like it doesn't matter what you roll, one up, that's amazing. Or you can improve their rend, which they also kind of need. Yeah, there's just so many ways to use this. It's amazing.
What's
Yeah.
cool too is that, like, no matter what the roll is on the D3, you can. Excuse me. Why are you growling at me? Okay, fine.
So
No matter what the roll is on the D3,
yeah,
it can be used for good. Sorry, that's
absolutely on most models.
Yeah.
Rend 5, so it's not a D6 warpstone. So if you roll a 5, they don't, and it doesn't add to it. It changes the characteristic. So you can never get to Rend 5 on giant rats with that, unless there's some other modifiers that I'm not thinking of. But like, you could, I mean, I think they hit on 4s right now. So like having them hit on anything, like you roll anything. Oh, right. Oh, that's brilliant. So I talked about giant rats in the Skaven. That's so funny, in the Skaven WhatsApp group, but I forgot that's how it's worded. It's so much better now than I even realized. So you could get them up to -5.
Even your Saurus Warriors for Seraphon, you could get to -4 with the Celestite Weapons one.
Right. No, wait. Oh, -4, -4. Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
You could. Whoa. Ow. Oh dear. Oh dear. That is
And that's
so
actually, like,
good.
if there's any army where this is a doable spell, it's Seraphon, right? Like with all the bonuses to cast with the Slan or
Yes.
something, right?
Yeah, you
Easy.
have to use the slan. That's what I was saying too, is like, because he becomes a locust and all this other stuff, it's finally a good reason to take him over Croak. You know? Wow. Can make Squigs rend -5 too. Spell plus, so that would put Squigs at -3 on a perfect day. Palooza's add 1, -4. And then the mop at -5. Yeah, so on one unit, they could be doing -5. I mean, like, the crazy thing is Squigs don't even need it. Like, I actually think a better choice on Squigs is just to make them hit better, because you could already, like, I don't know. Maybe you could put them at I'd rather have -3 rend, which you can do, and hitting on 2s, right? For example. But damn,
Yeah,
that's
there's
amazing.
very few things that you actually effectively use rend -5 on. Like,
Yeah.
even something with a 3-up save. I guess if they have a 3-up save and they all out defense, then you're still denying them a save, which is kind of nuts if you have -5. But
Yeah. I mean, even if they're on like a 1-up at -5, they're just still like, oh my god, I'm gonna die now. But I mean, like, they're already killing everything. It is funny though. I love it. Yeah, we're going to be probably making a lot of jokes about people who are casting this spell, as it is called Hoarfrost. But
yep.
I mean, everyone's having a good time, right? But it makes people poop themselves. That's true, Dan. That's fun though. I don't know. I'm loving this. It's only 12 inches. A
lot has to go right for you to get use out of the spell.
It's true. Sure. And we don't know. Matthias taught you about the power of the giant rat. It's true. He taught everyone. But like, yeah, I need to paint up some giant rats. Like, I've been meaning to do that for so long. I've had them zenithalled and like on a stick, so I can paint them up super quickly for 4 years now, 5 years now. I don't even know where they are anymore. Anyway. I did finish my Master Molder a while ago, though. A little while ago. I got the old Squeal Gnawtooth model. But I'm trying to get some Lizzies painted up. So, okay. Should we move on down? Oh, it says I didn't. You know what's funny? I didn't even notice on the designer's note an unmodified hit or wound roll of 1 always fails. I'm glad that they put that there. They need more designers notes, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of people that are just like, bro, it auto hits. It's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Well, we had that. So in AOS 1, First General's Handbook came out. We were going like, there were ways of like doing that, you know, and it was just like, so they auto hit, you know, and eventually I can't remember if and when the FAQ came out that you know a hit roll of 1 always fails, but that was not the rule from the start, so it was kind of pandemonium at first. um I mean, I can't answer that again. I gotta be careful. What up, Keith? Welcome. You're a wee bit proud. If only you were here when the camera was off, Robin. So good armor might take a dip, but the 8 casting isn't reliable. It's not. It's not at all, even with a reroll. Now, we're missing like 90% of the picture in this. So there may be, I'm sure there are ways. We haven't seen command traits, artifacts, special rules, nothing. You know, battalions, what do you call it? Battle plans. I could go on, right? So, or even the endless spells are going to get a refresh. So, so much could change. I've got a feeling that things will be, it will be like, there will be ways of buffing your sorcerers, but stock on stuff like Ixty Grubs for Slan. Yeah, we don't know about like if Chronomatic Cogs is going to stay the same. I bet it doesn't. I'd be willing to put money on that. But like stuff like, wait, is Master of Magic is a general one? Yeah,
Yep.
so that's from the core rules. So unless they change that with a, what's it called? Battle Scroll, I think it's called.
yeah, that's true. If they change it with the battle scroll, then
It
it could be
changes
affected.
things.
I kind of doubt it though, because like
I know, right? It's only
like this
one.
stuff is good,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not like
No.
I don't know. There are definitely better command traits that you could take for
But
sure.
you know what's exciting though is like stuff like the Screaming Bell that's trash right now, right? Wait, do you need to be to use this? What's it called?
Woman's characteristic of 9 or less.
To use this lore,
Oh, we don't know that yet, actually.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So then theoretically, the Screaming Bell, which is +2, it's like garbage tier right now, but it's naturally +2 to cast. And there's a Skaven command trait. Like no one takes it right now. Most people don't even know it exists. And there's a Skaven command trait where you can re-roll everything. That, you know, you can re-roll all your casts, unbinds, dispels. Zeech has a similar artifact, but all that to say that like it's gonna, assuming that you know, I mean, and you could take it on a Grey Seer because a Grey Seer is casting 2. So I mean, I guess that doesn't change anything, right? But like, you know, stock on Master of Magic, Skaven Master of Magic, which is even better, or the Zeech Tome of Many Eyes, I think it's called, or Nine-Eyed Tome, or something like that. That's, you know, all that stock is going to go up, and they're not going to ostensibly change something like in someone's artifact just to nerf them for this edition. That would be crazy, right?
Yeah. One thing I'm realizing is that stock on Slaves to Darkness Kabbalists is probably going to go up extremely high.
Remind me what that is.
So Slaves to Darkness has a subfaction called Kabbalists or Kabbalists, where every single hero is now a wizard. And
Whoa!
and on top of that, you what's it called? So Slaves to Darkness has a heroic action called Draw on Power, which is basically you can use 3d6 to cast instead of 2d6 to cast.
Right.
And when you're Kabbalists, if the first person to use that heroic action is within 3 inches of another hero,
Yeah.
basically you can put all of your heroes in like a bubble of 3 inches, and then all of them can use that heroic action. So all of a sudden you just have this like circle of wizards using 3d6 to cast. So you could spam all of these super high, like let's say Hoarfrost isn't the only one that's really good in this high casting value.
Yeah.
You could very reliably get spells like that off and buff the crap out of yourself.
Wow. And bad snatchers, as Ledivicus says. Yeah, totally. I saw a few people talking about that pretty quick. Unfortunately, about bad snatchers is that you can't use it if you are a Spider Fang, and Spider Fang are already poopy. But like you, I'm still hoping to see. You know, I'm still hoping to see them, and yeah, I mean, unless they word it so it's like you can only take this lore, and I hope that's not the case, because it would, it's going to be so much more fun if everyone can just kind of go nuts with their donuts. But Corn would be the all happy dude hiding behind the tree, rubbing his hands meme. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or if you go into, I mean, you can always buff your own units, I suppose, with Cabalus or Zeech or whatever. But a lot of their a lot of Zeech's spells are like, for example, are attack spells. So yeah, I don't know. This is shaping up to be a wild season. Before we forget, so armies without any spellcasters can take nullstone adornments to weather the hazardous sorcery of Andor. The hand-carved nullstone icon is one such enhancement, allowing heroes to unbind spells or dispel an endless spell, with a chance of unbinding another each time they succeed. That's really cool, or succeedy as they've typed. I'm sure that's not a typo, but the bear can attempt. So this is nullstone adornment. So this is basically like, it sounds like this is basically what's it like, the Gradation champion, like aspect of the champion. That's what I was going for. But it's only for people who are not wizards, right? So they've clearly kind of, they're trying to balance it and not make it so it's too poopy for one faction, right?
I haven't even considered that yet. I thought this was just like a one-off thing that you could get, but if there's a whole set of these that you can choose from, that's super cool.
That's what it reads like.
I'd be interested to see what the other ones, yeah.
It says nullstone adornment, so that it's plural.
Yep, that's true.
The bear can attempt to unbind one spell or attempt to dispel one endless spell in the enemy hero phase in the same manner as a wizard. Each time the bearer successfully unbinds a spell or dispels an endless spell using this ability, the bearer can attempt to unbind one additional spell in that phase. So that's really cool. Armies without any spellcasters. So does that mean that like, is that referring to Khorne and KO, or is that referring to my army? Like I didn't take any wizards. Like I could take IDK and not take my aspect of the sea or a tidecaster, and then I get like better stuff in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I would imagine that they would just restrict it based on what you decide to take. I think that makes the most sense.
I think so too, and it would really allow for more like in-depth kind of Johnny-esque list building. You're probably sacrificing something, but then you're gaining something else, and there'll be kind of a weighing that, right?
Yeah, and I wonder if you would be able to take multiple nullstone adornments. Like it's an enhancement that you can get multiple of.
It is. Oh, it says an enhancement. So because it says enhancement, that means if you get a warlord battalion, you could add more for sure, which is really great. So another reason to like lean into it is like if you're kind of a crappy faction, you know what I mean? You could kind of spec into that, right? Hyper magic, anti-magic. It kind of reads like, Keith says, it kind of reads like only the Andorian Locust can take spells from the lore. Them being non-unique wizard with 9 wounds or less. I appreciate the attempt on the bell, though. It is still sad. We won't know, though, until the book comes out, right? Like, it reads like that is maybe their intention, but we won't know until we read like the section in the actual book that says, if you're an Andorian Locust, you can take the spell lore, because like traditionally we've always had spell lore that everyone can access in every GHB. So if
That's
they
true.
say only Andorian Locust, that will be a disappointment to me at least. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not. It. They have traditionally, I'm going to kind of go against what I said. They've also had traditionally sort of specced into something like Galatian Champions, where the battle tactics are like, for them, it's like you better have a Galatian Champion, right? And if you don't, you're scoring less points. But I don't think I'm the only person who disliked that strongly, because it was the rich get richer, but then on top of that, it's just like you have to worry. Like, I don't think battle tactics should ever be that specific. You know what I mean? It like it just screws over like giants, for example. Now giants may have had it good in the monster meta, right? But like, cool story. Like now it's been like a year and a half of them, kind of going, come on, man, help us out here.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
curious as to how they're going to do in this new GHB because it does seem like GW has made an effort to like serve those that don't have kind of thing. So hopefully
Um,
Sons of Behemoth are not left out.
yes. So they can, or they could take an arcane tome, which would allow them to have a caster. But then it also says you don't get any spell lore. So I think giants are going to lean into anti-magic now,
I think so, yeah.
right?
I think that makes sense. Especially because none of them could ever be Andorian Locusts because
Yeah,
the whole 9 wounds or less clause. But
indeed. I wonder, uh, would an ally get it? I don't know.
I
It's
don't know.
something to think about, you know. But um, they say nullstone dormants are enhancements, so you can definitely take multiple for sure. I have giant rats. Excellent. Always good to hear that. New points coming out when the new GHB comes out as well. Absolutely, Luigi. They always come out, but they've kind of moved over to a better system where it doesn't come with the GHB. It just gets published for free, because the problem before was they used to come out together in the same book, or originally were a part of the same book, Luigi, and then people would, like, that book became a waste almost instantly. A lot of the time there were misprints. There were so many problems with that, so they went over to this system, and it's frankly it's way better. But there will be points updates if you have the app or War Scroll Builder. They'll be updated very quickly, and they will announce it first in a Battle Scroll PDF. So if you're looking for that, you can keep your eyes peeled to the Warhammer community page. But I'll try and do like an announcement video of it too, and point you guys in the right direction. But it shouldn't take long. I bet you the points are already like set to update in the app and such, and they're just waiting for it to be on the way out. Be ready for them to do it. My pleasure, Luigi. My absolute pleasure. Let's see. I don't think they will make a bunch of battle tactics that only squishy wizards can do. Screws over like 4 to 5 armies. Yeah. So I agree, and I hope that that's true. But like the last 2 GHBs, it's been like heavily focused. It's like if you don't have this bounty hunter or whatever, you know what I mean, Galatian veterans, if you don't have Galatian champions. And okay, for me, I think the battle tactics in the current GHB are my least favorite ever. Or in AOS 3. Actually, of course, in AOS 3. There's never been battle tactics before that.
yeah,
And not counting, what's it called? Thondia. Because, like, it wasn't meant for any kind of balanced play.
there's, there's only like 2 non-relation champion related battle tactics, right? There's desecrate their lands, and then there's
there's
uh
there's 4. There's 4 and 4. There's
oh, are
always,
there?
yeah.
Okay.
So there's for the not. I don't remember all of the Galatian Champions ones because some of them just never come into play. But
Yeah.
so Desecrate, Cunning Maneuver, this one's mine, and Eye for an Eye are the four that you don't need a guy for. Oh no, Cunning
Cunning
Maneuver you
maneuver you
do.
do.
Yeah, but there is.
It's gaining momentum is the
Thank you.
last one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So you hate it when I don't scroll up. It's all here, but the problem is okay, wait. Okay. You don't need friends. You have giant rats. Okay, cool. I will check that out, Robin. I do like your enthusiasm. Book tactics are what make the terrible GHB tactics especially egregious. That's not wrong. And so, you know, I know on some other podcasts and such, they really like really difficult battle tactics. Like I know Warhammer Weekly really likes it, and I understand why they like it. But sometimes, like, depending on your army and the battle plan and your opponent's army, there are times when you just won't, you're just like, I can't do any of these. And because I have crappy book tactics, this is really not fun for me. And most of my books have terrible battle tactics. I thought Zeech was the best one until I played with it. And then I was like, this is way harder than I thought. You know what I mean? I have one really good one, and it's only if I take Guild of Summoners, right? So I really hope that they're much more generalized and a little bit easier than some of them are. But what did you think, Carson? Do you feel the same way, or like it's totally okay to be like, no, harder battle tactics makes for more interesting games and not everyone's scoring them all the time, which is kind of Warhammer Weekly's point, but I don't know.
I think that I agree in principle that harder battle tactics can be more fun, but it's very difficult to make battle tactics that are universally hard and not hard for everyone except a very small subsection of like army lists, right? Because maybe your army is 100% suited to getting that super hard battle tactic, then you inherently have an advantage that others don't.
Yeah.
So I think that in that sense, carrying through with hard battle tactics. You know what? Come here. Yeah. Have it on camera. Hello.
Oh, rough. Can you see us? Can you see me? Holly.
You're a jerk. No, don't lick my face. So I think that erring on the side of I like it when battle tactics drive your behavior in a turn more so. So rather than just like, oh, well, I just got this in addition to whatever I was doing anyway. So I actually really dislike Eye for an Eye, for instance. And the reason for that is because it's just like, well, I obviously plan on attacking you this turn, so it makes sense that I would just take that if you killed a unit of mine last turn.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just like, I'm just going to get points in addition to what I already plan to do.
Yeah.
Whereas I find it interesting when battle tactics are like, well, I could go for this, which means I would have to do this. Or I could go for that one, which means I would have to completely change my strategy. And you can kind of think a couple turns ahead in that sense. So
that's true. Yeah. I in my Zeech game, I summoned a spawn, as I'm wont to do, as Titsnitch. And then in my opponent's turn, he killed the spawn, naturally, because it's like a 5 wound, thing on a 5-up save. And then that would have allowed me to go for Eye for an Eye, but I forgot about that. You know what I mean? My mistake. But like, then I was looking at like, oh, you could totally set yourself up for success in that regard, I missed a bunch of messages here, or not messages, but 12 all new battle plans. Yeah. That's kind of the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, I think. Because I really like the battle plans overall in this one. some of the tournaments had some interesting choices of which ones to include. Not what I would have personally chosen. Like a lot of them, a surprising amount. Kind of a slot machine style thing, but yeah. Overall, though, I think these are the best battle plans we've ever had, though.
Yeah, pretty happy with them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the battle plans that were at Take or Death. I know that. Good job, Dale.
I heard great things about Kick or Death.
It was a good tournament.
But it was false advertising because no one died. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
So I still think 63 attack clan rats getting buffed on attacks. Good Lord, yes. I'm happy my books have terrible battle tactics, gives people less to complain about with my army. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Robin, surprise magic turkey attack. Go. yeah, that actually did happen. But I don't think I would go Guild of Summoners again. Like the more anyway, I'm getting distracted again. You're playing your dog's ear like a fiddle or something. I don't know what an instrument you play like this. A zither. Okay. Just get rid of battle tactics and make cool secondaries, hidden agendas that are less impactful on scoring. Interesting. I mean, I really like battle tactics, but I also I kind of like the idea of both. I like the idea of having them and not having them. You know what I mean? I think they're good for tournaments overall, but I can see, the idea that maybe the game is complicated enough, right? I think 40K is more complicated, so secondaries would be even more to kind of concentrate on constantly. But like the idea that you have your primary scoring is objectives, right? And part of what gets you on objectives is your is killing things, right? So those are like the 2 pillars of the game. But then battle tactics and having an idea of battle tactics becomes a 3rd pillar. So I can see the idea that it becomes too complicated or too much. But the thing I like about battle tactics is that it's just like, okay, it's my turn. Like, you don't have to think about it as 4D chess if you don't want to. You can just be like, okay, it's my turn now. I didn't plan for anything. What can I accomplish? You know what I mean? But there is the argument that battle tactics slow the game down as well. So we'll see. I don't think we're going to have battle tactics in AOS 4, though. I think they're going to change.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, but like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If everyone had 2 easy, 2 medium, 2 hard, it would be the best. Absolutely. And how did they not think about that? You know what I mean? Like, when they were writing each book, like, did they not understand how important battle tactics were? Right? Like, I can't be the only one who thought that, but get rid of triumphs.
There's definitely a very odd disparity among books where,
Totally.
including grand strategies too, where it's just like, I can literally do none of these ever, which kind of sucks. And then there's ones like Fire Slayers where it's just like, you just automatically get your grand strategy essentially.
For sure.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yes. Yeah. The Zeech one is no one interacts with my grand strategy. I can just choose to do it. It's
Also.
So the
I
grand,
don't know what it is. Sorry.
The grand strategy that like everyone takes without exception, or mostly without exception, is you just have to have, so you roll 9 destiny dice at the start of the game, right? If you have a total of 9 destiny dice points, so if you have like a 5 and a 4, you just take them, you put them aside, and if at the end of the game you have 9 or more destiny dice points, you get your grand strategy.
All right then.
Yeah. Just like, okay, and like, even if you get a terrible, terrible roll, you can still just be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways of adding them on, changing the numbers. Like, there's so many things you can do. So yeah, that's the best grand strategy in the game. Although, having said that, grand strategies, like, they don't come into play that often, right? Like, it's usually decided long before that, but it's more of a thing for tournaments, I feel like, where how much you score is more important.
Yeah.
So, Luigi wants to get rid of triumphs. Interesting. Or give a triumph also for hitting 2K on the dot. The problem, though, is that, like, I don't think Age of Sigmar is modular enough for that. Like, 40K, you can add, like, 2-point, chainsword upgrades and whatnot. So, or whatever. This is just, like, they literally have in 9th edition, at least, they had 1 and 2 point increment upgrades. So, if it were more modular, I think that would be more possible. I don't think the Triumph system is great, because it's like, okay, I'm 1965 and you're 1970, so therefore now I get once per game. I can just not take Battle Shock or +1 to wound. Like, both of those are so worth 5 points. It's crazy, right? Like, if I could just pay for a Triumph, like, if I could pay 50 points and be guaranteed a Triumph, I would do that every game. I think you used to be able to do that too, but you do hope that in 4.0 they get rid of battle tactics and just work them into the battle plans. That would be cool, if it was like, and then it would be like almost like a mini grand strategy, I guess, or I guess it would be like per turn. It's like if you occupy the center objective with a 5 wound hero, this is just a crazy example, then you get an extra point, I guess is the idea, Keith? Correct me if I'm wrong. I do wonder how good the command traits are going to be. Do you mean in the next GHB, Warpstone? If there are any OP mandatory traits, we might see the Warbringer taking a break, but if not, Skaven might never use them. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I hope they're good, because I hope because that way it's less the rich get richer. You know what I mean? Like, because command trait, you can only take 1 command trait, so it would just level the playing field overall, I think. Pie till you die. Is that another?
Instead of kick or death.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. Pie or die. Yeah. Yeah. Pie or...
I think if there was a pie themed one, then I would definitely bake a pie for that. Because pies are amazing. I love pie.
Pie is the best dessert.
Far superior to cake.
It's true.
Far superior.
Yeah.
Nice strawberry rhubarb pie. Man.
Really?
Yep. It's my favorite. It's my favorite pie. So if anyone's trying to impress me, if you want to show up to my house with a strawberry rhubarb pie, I won't complain.
Do you make a strawberry rhubarb pie?
I can.
Really?
I'm physically capable of it. Yes. Yeah.
I think the best pie I ever ate was my grandmother's strawberry rhubarb pie.
Likewise.
She grew her own rhubarb and strawberries and made them from that, and they were insane.
Oh man, you're making me hungry. I haven't had dinner yet.
I'm sorry. Okay, I enjoyed battle tactics when playing my Skaven. It let me win games on points when against a murder hobo wielding a bag of hammers. What I dislike is decision paralysis when others are picking one. Yes. Yeah, I can see that, especially if you're like low on time, Keith. But yeah, sometimes they're really fun. Although Skaven battle tactics, it's interesting that you chose that, because the Skaven ones are like the worst ones in the I think in the entire game. Or maybe you just mean doing them with Skaven. Maybe that's what you mean. I mean, if you spec into it, you can get one of them is possible, but like for the Scryer one, it only works if they bring a monster. So if they don't bring a monster, then you literally can't do it. Stuff like that. Hamster playtesters. Luigi can keep his dirty hands off my triumphs. Yeah, you can take my triumphs when you pull them out of my cold dead fingers. No, that's not how I feel. But I think a lot of people forget to use their triumph. So
I think so too. I do understand what triumphs are trying to do, though. Like, you have to have some way of balancing.
You have to.
If somebody just brings less points, like.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dan hates them. Another one against them. That's what I'm talking about. You let the BP, including the fun wrinkles, the battle plan, include the fun wrinkles. Yes, absolutely. That would be great. That would be great. I mean, the problem, The problem then is we're relying on them each season to kind of be good. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they can do one set of intense work and then have it be good. You know what I mean? From then on. Now, they could plan it out and have a sort of template of sorts, but I would worry about the quality control in the long term, personally, but that sounds fantastic. I'm totally down for that. They confirm 4 command traits for Andorian Locust right at the end. Sick. Okay, cool. Andorian Locust. Okay. So the Locust one. Got it. Yeah, okay. So that's only for locusts. Locusts. Locust. Loci?
I don't know. I'm going to look that up.
It depends on whether the root word is Greek or Latin. And I don't know that. I don't know whether locus.
It is loci.
Loci. So Latin. Interesting.
Yep.
Cool. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh, no.
I am interested in that kind of thing, though. What's that?
Never mind. Sorry. It is loci, but
Loci,
then I
cool.
saw locust is locusts.
Oh, locust, like the animal, like the insect?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Yes, doing them when playing Skaven. The only Skaven specific one I ever did was shoot a monster to death. Totally, dude. And like, I like to bring my warp lightning cannons, but then my opponent like brings Nighthaunt. I'm just like, welp. I guess it's book or GHB battle tactics only. You have your 10 out of 10 battle plans as evergreen, and the other ones rotate. Oh, that'd be. But then wouldn't we get bored? Horrible. Like, if we have like, or maybe like 6. I don't even know. I think they need to make a good template and go in with a battle, with a plan. It's not easy to do. By the way, did we ever talk about this Nullstone Adornment?
Yep.
I think I've had on the screen. Okay.
Nullstone. Yep.
Okay. And then before we, so on top of this, there are 12 brand new battle plans. So it says brand new battle plans, 12 brand new battle plans. Does that mean none of the old ones are coming back? Now,
or maybe it includes the old ones as well.
I don't think so. For 2 reasons. One, they said 12 brand new. They didn't say there's any repeaters here. Yeah. You look like that, like, what's it called? That old meme video where the guy spins into space and that song plays and I can't hear. Dang it. Oh, Carson. You lovable fool. That looks crazy. So that's one reason. What was the other reason? I don't even remember because of your antics. God dang it. Oh,
Reason for what now? Huh?
why there are new battle plans only. So a couple of the ones that we've seen that have repeated themselves were called like what's it called? Like Jaws of Galay and Stuff of Galay, right? So, and we're not in
That's true.
in Galay anymore, right?
That makes sense, yeah, from a lore perspective for sure. We're in
Andor?
Is it just literally Andor?
I think so.
We're inside of Cassian Andor. All right.
Oh dear. You'd expect from the Jaws a whole year's worth of content for competitive play. I mean, it's not even just competitive play, really. And then there are what's that?
Only for competitive play. Get out of here if you're not competitive.
Yeah, like
Scat.
if you're playing a narrative game, then you cannot use this. You go to hell, and you die, right?
Exactly.
Summer of 2024. Yep, absolutely, Luigi. That's what we were saying, like right out the gate. Basically until AOS 4, this is what we're getting. So, hopefully it's a good one. Should we talk about the Regiments of Renown thing that they showed?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. Okay. So that's all the information we have for now. But they did show these. Oh, that looks terrible. Wow. fine. I try.
I guess before we continue on the regiments of renown,
Please.
so we made guesses 2 weeks ago about when the GHB was going to come, and I feel like now I'm going to be horribly wrong because I guessed July 29th. And
What did I guess?
I think
Middle.
you did like the 15th or something, right?
Right? Okay.
Or
I wanted to
mid-July?
say it was the 14th, but I have to look up what we got. We got June. Oh yeah, 15th. Yeah, you're right. That's okay. So wait.
So I think neither of those is correct now.
I think it's gonna be like July 1st.
Yeah.
Wait. 1, 2. Yeah. I think they're gonna announce it this Sunday. Yeah, and it's gonna come on the 1st. Didn't I?
Leviticus is right. Yeah, you and him said the 22nd, and I said the 29th. You originally said the 15th, and you changed your mind to the 22nd.
Dang it! Who made me change my mind? What hitting a frog led me down that terrible path?
The Hypnotoad.
I mean, it could still be right.
I don't know if we'd be seeing this much information about the GHB
That's
if it's
true.
more than a month away. That sounds...
That's true.
So
I mean, it could be a month away.
It could be, yeah. So what is it? Because Leviathan is releasing on Saturday, right?
This Saturday, yeah.
And so Sunday would have... The earliest that this GHB could come out is July 1st.
Right. Oh, it's
because...
Wait, when does Leviathan come out? Is it the 17th or is it the 24th?
I don't know. Is it the 17th?
I don't know. I thought it was the 24th.
Either way, the earliest that this GHB could come out is July 1st because it's Tuesday now. They always do their Sunday preview, which would be the 18th.
Right.
And then it would go on pre-order the 24th, and then it would be actually available the 1st. Right. And that timeline scares the crap out of me because there's a tournament coming up in Tacoma, the U.S. Open for Games Workshop.
Okay.
And I'm very worried that it's going to be July 1st, the new GHB drops, and they're going to say, hey, everybody, we're using the new GHB for this event on July 15th, like 2 weeks notice, essentially, which would change everything as far as like lists go and as far as like the meta goes.
Totally. I mean,
that would make me a very sad panda.
I see it from both sides. Like I'm not a tournament player, to be fair. My gastro disease does not allow me to be such a thing. But I can see it from both perspectives. I can see from the person going to the event, you're like, okay, I've been planning all this. I've got everything painted. And then if they're like, oops, all wizards, you know what I mean? Then you would have to scramble and get things painted and or ready in time, right? Which would be very frustrating. But like every year at LVO, it's like they're the end of the season, and like even though it's like somehow still the biggest tournament of the year, like no one seems to care what the results are because it's like, well, that's old news, this is the old battle pack, and so no one cares. And so using a brand new battle pack kind of allows more focus on your tournament, you know? If I were at a tournament, though, I would not hold it in January or July, though. Like, I would hold it in, like, August or February, essentially. Yeah. You have LRL. You can do Oops All Wizards. I can, too, now with Zeech. Yes! I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not, but probably, considering there's a Titsnitch guy on the front cover. He says...
I think...
Yep.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, he just says, give me 12 battle plans, battle pack for casual scrubs. That sounds kind of rad. Like, that kind of sounds like not what we're making for Path to Glory, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I actually think that's like, yeah, like let's get into Age of Sigmar. Here's some simplified. Maybe that's something we could make, you know? Not 12, yep. But like maybe 6, you know, or hell, even 4. I don't think
they're long to make. You can make 12. Why not?
Well, yeah, it's true. You know, it's just a matter of like having an idea.
Oh, no, let's go crazy with this. We're going to make 100.
144. 12 times 12. Yep. Yeah. Come on.
That's right.
Yeah. That checks out. Okay. I'm glad Ladivicus was paying attention to what our guests were, you know,
Me too.
because I'm not gonna go back and check. I could have sworn I said the 15th. That's so crazy. But I bet you said the 29th or whatever, and then I was like, well, Price is right, you know, right?
Meet in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be like, I wonder if Virkos uniques will get to ignore the Andorian locus restrictions. They're already cheating, so what's a little bit more, really? I don't think so. Like, they do get to cheat. What Keith is referring to is they get command traits and artifacts that they can take, even though they're named characters. But the problem, though, right now, so that's what Rowan played on Sunday, and then, you know, but he still didn't have any Galatian champions, or he had one. So if I off him, it's just like it changes things, you know. So I don't think they will, because I think there should be a trade-off, but yeah, we'll see. You could do lots of rush painted wizards if they say to use the new GHB. Yep, there sure will, unless people are, you know, one of those rare specimens that only have one army and they have everything all painted up ahead of time. Yeah, Starborn is going to be real good, man. I mean, they're already pretty good, but stock went up on them for sure. Yeah, because like all the wizards except for Croak, you know, are locusts. So yeah, much better. But
maybe this even makes Coalesce better too, because Coalesce Star, like, their lore is not very good.
Their lore is terrible, actually.
And
yeah, other than Celestite weapons, right?
Yeah, exactly. If they can just use this spell lore instead, then might turn the tides a little bit.
I'm really excited because I absolutely love painting my Slan, and I want to use them. But we played that Path to Glory game, and I was just like, man, this is he's not doing it for me in Coalesced, you know.
Yeah, that was a rough game.
It was. It's not out yet, but it was. You know, I mean, those low point games are never going to be balanced, but yeah, we still have to record the intros and come up with an idea for that. But I wonder if I was looking at that Nurgle Regiment of Renown. Oh yeah, so I guess we can go on to that. Why don't we go on to that before so Regiment of Renown, 4 new boxes. I've got a question for Carson in the chat. But first, why don't we go over them real quick? They've already showed them, but like they're coming out soon, right? So the first one is the Fire Slayer one, right? And
it's a lot of dwarfs.
A lot of dwarfs, yeah. I'm pretty sure the new one is the double hammer guy in the middle here, right? Oh, can people not see it? Whoops. Wait.
I think it is, but the fact that you can't really tell kind of...
There it is.
That's the problem of Fire Slayers for sure.
Yeah. And the last thing...
Because if you just like shuffled around the positions of all these guys, I wouldn't be able to tell which one is the hero.
No, exactly. Oh man, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but I don't think this is the best sculpt they've ever come up with, even for Fire Slayer, or not for Fire Slayers. I'm trying to be super unbiased here. They're not my thing, but you know, reading the Gotrek novels has really allowed me to think they're, you know, I enjoy them more, you know, than before, for sure. I have an idea for like a paint scheme for them. I'm sure someone else has come up with it, but yeah. Anyway, so this is one. Now, it's a bunch more infantry. Like all of their boxes have like tons of infantry in them, except for the old Start Collecting. I think the old Start Collecting had a Magmadroth in it. Okay, actually, here's my question for Carson and the chat. Do these boxes, do they come... Is the only way to buy the new hero in these boxes at first? Obviously, eventually they're going to come out on their own, right? Yeah? Do you want to extrapolate on that, or
100%.
okay?
100%. That's going to be the case. Yeah. There's a, yeah, 100%. Because like anytime a new hero has come out in that sense, they're always a part of a box set of some kind.
That's not true. So they did do for Malign Portents, they did just have heroes come out on their own. But
That's fair.
that was AOS 1. That was the end of AOS 1. Sorry, my foot just started
I guess I broke my own statement recently as well, because thinking back even on the Slaves to Darkness release, like that was an army release though.
That was an army release. Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still think that it's like guaranteed that they're only going to be available in these boxes right away.
Then
eventually, yes, they'll be their own solo release, but
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then I don't like it. Like I quite strongly dislike it. And I hope we don't get a Skaven one, as weird as that sounds. Because I have so many Skaven models. I'm just not going to buy. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to buy one. Unless the model is irresistible, which is... Oh, God. Yeah, I'm probably buying one, if I think about it. Please just don't be Plague Monks. That's all I ask. Any event would give at least a week or two between the new GHB coming out and list submission being due. I think that event is talking about it, actually, Keith. So... Wait, oh no, that was Warpstone, sorry. I believe the event is literally... I think that... Isn't that what they're planning for? Is like, if it comes out before they're going to use it, Carson?
Isn't that event is hosted by GHB though, isn't it?
I don't...
The US Open, Tacoma?
think so. I don't think it's hosted by them. I think they only host the year-end one, but they give like, you know, status or something, like in fighting game tournaments. I could be wrong though. Like I think that's how it works, but correct me if I'm wrong. You guys know better than I do, I'm sure. Give people time to get read it.
That would still be crazy if it was like the new GHB, because list submission is due July 1st, which is the exact day that GHB comes out. So either have to.
We don't know that.
Fair. Yes.
Yeah.
The earliest that it can come out.
The earliest it can come out is July 1st. I still wouldn't be surprised to see it come out on the 8th. Yo, Sean. What up, man? You can mock the army looking very samey and still think dwarf slayers are cool. Absolutely. Yeah. They've grown on me since reading the Gotrek novels. A lot. They're still like one of the last armies I would collect, but they just need a little more. Like they need some more variety. Like they keep coming out with hero characters. That's a crazy like business plan. Like why didn't they even put them on like some kind of weird fire lizard thing? You know what I mean? Like the low hanging fruit. Because like the other one, the next one, in fact, is a guy on a horse. We have the technology. You know what I mean? Like it's right there. Like this box is the best one, right? Overall, I don't know. Maybe the gets one, but like,
are you talking for value or just for?
Just because like you want Blight Kings, if you want the new model, and I think you should if you like the Nurgle aesthetic at all, because that model is freaking rad. Even as a non-Nurgle lover. I used to be a Nurgle hater, in fact, just because like don't like disease. But and then like the Blight Kings on the flies, like those models are freaking awesome. They're super good, you know, points determinant obviously for everything. But like, I think this box is the coolest box, you know, if you're assuming you're into the army, right?
It's definitely very visually interesting too, and I like that they didn't just put a bunch of plague bearers in there. Oh
God, I'm sure everyone's tired of that. There's those End Times-esque books that will highlight the new champs, right? Oh, you mean like the what's it called again? I can't remember the name of it. There are not like when you say books, not. I'm assuming you don't mean novels, but like end times, not end times, but like, um, what was it called again? Forbidden Realms. Is that what it was called before? I can't remember. But basically, Psychic Awakening, Malign Portents, like they all had lead-in books to the new edition. If that's what you mean, then yes, that is what they're doing. I can't remember what I was about to say, but campaign books, exactly, Luigi. Yeah, we had, I think it was called Forbidden Realms, but I can't remember what it was at the end of AOS 2. It was something like that. Lord Relictor and Chaos Corgi still aren't for sale on their own. Lord Relictor. Is there a Stormcast box? Oh, I see what you're saying. Lord Relictor and where was it? Chaos Corgi. Is that the Cerebus style model? I'm not sure what you mean, Keith. Sorry. Sean, by the way, I just met Sean for the first time ever on Friday, and that dude's so nice. It was so nice to finally meet him. I've known him for like 7 years online. I'm not exaggerating either. So, and obviously for a long time, I didn't even know he was from the Vancouver area, but, Ludivicus, I want my Rabble Rouser bad enough. I'll buy the box despite not really needing the other stuff a whole lot. What's the Rabble Rouser? Is that the Git one? Is that the next one? Oh, the flesh. So, okay, first of all, the Flesh Eater Quartz one is pretty cool. No one really needs ghouls, but they come with 2 of the Crypt Flayers / Horrorghast. That's the same kit. So you can make 3 of each, and then the new hero, which is frankly amazing. One thing of 20 ghouls. So not bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think a Terrorgeist kit would be cooler, but then again, like they're not going to do that. Like that was never on the table, right? And then the last one but not least is the Gits. I don't think I'm going to buy this. Like I could use more Boingrots, but I already have Gobapalooza, and even though I love the models, I don't think I really want another set of them. I bought them because they look cool. So yeah, and then I mean Squig Herd, like you can always use more Squigs, but I love this new hero so much. So hopefully someone else buys 2 of them and then they don't want one, but I doubt that. I doubt it very much. Otherwise I'll just wait, or maybe I'll proxy. It looks like he's on what, like a 32, if I had to guess. Yeah. 32 or worst case 40. So I'll just proxy something if I need to.
Yep.
Until I can get him. My son needs double Gobapaloozas. I mean, they are some of the best models like ever made, in my opinion. But hey, like all the power to your son. I love them. The new Gits guy in the middle, yeah, he's so cool. Get the ghouls and sell them to the Flavor of the Month chasers when the book gets updated. Yeah, I mean they're doing quite well right now, Keith. So like honestly, you could, argue. I don't have Flesh Eater Quartz anymore, so that's not really in the kit for me, or in the, you're on the fence about your FEC, sitting on a great start. Love the lore. Do I need another army? Yes, you do.
Maybe wait a little bit though for when the book comes up, because there's probably going to be a refresh of some kind. There's going to be some kind of refresh. I maybe not a refresh, but they're going to add a lot to the army, right? Yeah.
Like, what are the oldest kits? The Horrorghast, Ghouls, and the Flayers? Like, they're not going to redo the Terrorgeist because it's freaking gorgeous. Like, it's mwah. But, like, I can see them doing the Horrorghast, or not Horrorghast, the Crypt Horrors or the Flayers over. I could definitely see that. But Gobapalooza, yeah, great models. Can I interest you in another army, Carson?
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Oh, just period. Just
Yeah.
another army period.
Well, I meant among these four, like with boxes coming out.
I see. No, I'm clutching my pearls tight.
Ooh, dear. Um,
Oh my.
ooh, or sorry, these are regiments of renown. Something that we didn't mention actually is that you're going to be able to include these in any chaos faction, or sorry, not chaos faction, in any what's it called? General Grand Alliance, right? I think that's
I
right.
think so.
So I don't think you need to be able to ally in Gits, for example, to take the Git one. So that's something to think about. Because the Zeech one you can take in Skaven, and Skaven cannot ally in Zeech. So
It's still restricted to the Grand Alliance, though, right? Like you couldn't
it
take.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
But like if you have ogres, you could get this Gits box, and if provided the rules are okay, you could just you could use it as a little bit of an excuse to just paint some Gits. Might be fun, you know.
that's true.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
Um, you're holding off on pulling the trigger on Nurgle until you see the new cities kits. I might grab that Nurgle one just in case, though. I mean, if you grab it, like, you know, you can probably sell it for what you paid for it, especially if you have like an FLGS like we do that gives discounts on pre-orders and such. Do you think that the Sons of Behemoth will play the Gits one? Because they'll be able to. Yeah, that's another great call. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. There is the Zeech Regiment right now. Exactly, that's what I meant. Warpstone. I've got all those Zeech models. I don't have the Magister on foot put together, but I could play that in my Skaven army once I get it painted. Well, I mean, I could play it right now, but like, I need to get it painted to play it in a battle report. I need an excuse to paint some Gits, or like you need an excuse. Yeah, I guess that was sarcasm. Yeah, or maybe not. I don't know. Gits are so much fun to paint though. So if you mean that in any kind of serious way, then go for it. Like they are. So I think my favorite hobby army for most of AOS was actually Agnet Deepkin. I really liked painting them. I had a really great time on every single model without exception. But then I think it became Gits was my new favorite once I started getting into them. I had a lot of fun with them. And right now it's back to Seraphon, which is, you know, what it was before Ida Deepkin came out. Actually, no, that's not true. It's you know, Skaven. It's just kind of Skaven, but they're not always a great hobby army. You know what I mean? Like when you kit bash and do fun stuff like that, they're a lot more fun. But you know, paint all the models. Wah indeed, Robin. Wah indeed. By the way, did you see the new? Do you have Warhammer Plus or whatever it's called?
I do not.
Okay, there's like a new show that Alex pointed out to me called Iron Within, and yeah, it's you know pretty good. It's like the animation's pretty good and interesting story. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw it or not, but so you could
That one's about
what's that?
Iron Hands, I assume.
Yes, I shouldn't. I mean, it's a little bit of a spoiler. I mean, like, you know, if you know anything about 40K, you're like, oh, it's about Iron Hands. Yeah. So basically, so if anyone's worried about spoilers at all, it's not really a spoiler. Like, it's like the basic plot is just that this world is getting hammered by Drukhari, and then they put a call out for the Astartes to come and save them, and it's not the Astartes that they thought, because it's like a pre-heresy world that hasn't called upon anyone for over 10,000 years is I think the idea. So they don't even they don't understand that when they put that call out, they're kind of like legends at that point. And so, yeah, it was a little predictable, but it was good. I was very happy that the Realms of Ruin trailer gave me Dawn of War vibes. Try not to let my hopes get too high. Never let your hopes get too high on a video game, right, Carson?
Yes. Also, sorry, I was wrong. It's not Iron Hands. It's Iron Warriors.
I'm
Iron
sorry.
with an iron without.
I'm sorry. Yes. Iron.
That was my bad. I said Iron Hands.
I know it's Iron Warriors. Like I even watched the whole thing, and I played Iron Hands. Like I know the difference. Iron Hands are loyalist Astartes, and Iron Warriors are not. The Primarch was Perturabo.
Peter Turbo.
Yeah, Peter Turbo. I never heard that one before. I love some of those. I love like Robert Gilliman. Or wait, was it Roberto Girlyman? But
Rowboat Girly Man.
that's my favorite. Or Rowboat Gorilla Man. But yeah, I love all of those. There's like 5 different groups of Space Marines with iron in the name. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. And or fist. By the way, the model I shared in the Discord is a super rare Eldari Bonesinger model that was limited edition in a mega army around the end of 5th. Cool. I love those things. I don't know that I wish they would do more of them again, just because, you know, the FOMO kind of thing. But I do have a Skaven Warlord that was like the last pewter model that Games Workshop ever produced, and it was for a games day, and it was like limited edition and all that, and I love them. Like I really love the model. So yeah, I get the appeal. Primarch catchphrase, it's turbo time.
Turbo-tastic.
Turbo-tastic. You can have a few. My dude found it in a thrift shop. Whoa, in a thrift shop. That is a rare find. Especially because I think, Robin, I think you're in the States, right? Like I hear that like finding old models in the UK in thrift shops is not that uncommon, but like in Canada and the United States it must be super rare, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't last very long.
Yeah, exactly. The first Termagant from Rogue Trader. Sheesh, that's really cool. Okay, so Carson.
Rob. Before
we go, right? Saturnine Terminator. Those things are so sick. Have you seen those? They've got like I think this is what I'm. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, but they have like the really bulky thing over their head.
That looks so silly. I just looked up what that was.
Oh, really? Like it depends.
Saturnine tournament?
The Saturnine ones?
Yeah. That's very silly.
It depends on which ones. Like I've seen like art and different things where they look freaking amazing, and other ones where they look kind of bulky and a little goofy. But that can be part of the charm, no matter which way it is. Only life important. That's only true for Tyranids, Keith. And if you're eating meat all the time. Okay, before I forget my question, are you, if the rules are okay, or like suitable, right? Would you think about picking up the Nurgle one for your STD or the Gobapalooza for your ogres? Do 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 do.
I feel like the rules. This is kind of skirting the question. I feel like the rules won't be good for the Gobapalooza one.
They won't be good?
Well, because Gobapalooza is like buff specific to Gits, is it not?
It is, but what we saw with a lot of them, for example, is like the KB one, like the Cruel Boys one, was like they, you know, everyone's like, well, they only get the poison if they're in their, because that's an allegiance ability, but then they just brought it over. You know what I mean? So I think they want to make it compelling at least. If
I would,
you know what I mean. What's
Yes.
that? Yeah.
I would consider it. Yeah. I think I would probably consider.
The Zeech
Hmm,
one first?
no, I would probably consider the Gits one first, just because I have a soft spot for Gits.
As you
I
should.
just they're cool,
Yep.
and I think Gits and Ogres is funny.
Yep. I love
Makes
it.
sense.
Yep. Well, and the cool thing about the Squig Herd is that their mortal wound thing that they do, it's on their war scroll.
That's
So,
true. It also provides some much needed like chaff as well for an ogre army.
yep.
So it's it could be interesting. You know, I'd
Yeah.
consider it.
Cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Um,
What about yourself?
so okay, among these four, I don't think so. We got I mean, I have all those gets except for the new hero. Um None of these. But there were four other ones, right? There's Cruel Boys, which I have, so I don't need to buy anything. And that didn't come with any new heroes. So I could just like literally ally them into my Gobapalooza or into my Gloomspite gets, right? Um Yeah, I'm not. The only one that I'm considering using right now is Zeech in my Skaven because Skaven don't get any allies, and I just think it would be fun to do. But
Okay.
yeah,
So I have a counter question for you then, which is that I'm pretty sure they're going to make a Regiment of Renown Gongbringer for ogres as well with a
ooh,
new character, just because
okay,
we saw that hammer, right?
right,
Uh,
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing.
Okay,
Now, will you bring ogres, or if the rules are good enough, would you consider bringing ogres into your gits
would I
or
bring
cruel
them?
boys, or cruel boys?
Depending on the models, because I am very like if I don't like the models, then I'm you know what I mean? Like it's why I'm not painting like it's why I'm not into Starborn or because they're focused on skinks and that kind of stuff, right? Like if the only problem though is I'm kind of a Timmy too, so like they're not going to include like a freaking what's it called? Stonehorn. Like that's the model I want the most, right? But that would be so much fun. Um, but I do like what are they called? Like the saber tusk rider guys. I forget what they're called.
Oh, Mournfangs?
Mornfangs. I like them.
Yep.
Yeah, I like them. That would be cool.
So why don't I make you a deal right now then, which
Ooh,
is that if I get the gits one
yeah.
and use it in my ogres,
Uh huh.
then you got to get the ogres one and use it in your gits.
No deal.
And
I
we'll
can't
and we'll
wait.
fight each other.
We'll fight each other. Oh, that would be so cool though. Oh man. We'll see. What if they make a Slaves to Darkness one?
I don't know. What I don't know if they would make a Slaves to Darkness one
Right.
because we already have Nurgle, Zinch. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot.
And they said there's going to be like 12 or something of these things. So that means there's two
Yeah.
more rounds. So there'll probably be like a Corn one and a Slanesh one. And then they probably won't do Slaves. That's true. Hmm. If you get the Gets one, I might weasel out of this deal when the Ogres comes out. I don't really want to paint Gluttons though. That's like the main drawback for me. Yeah, yeah. um, do you want to paint Skaven? That's amazing. I don't know how you do these things.
That was
Skaven,
on accident. I don't know. I have painted Skaven before actually. I haven't painted the plague catapult thing.
right?
Remember?
I forgot. Yeah, because you got to do that. I
Yep.
don't know what I can talk about and what I can't. So, but I do know what you're talking about.
No, that wasn't for work or anything. That was just because I wanted to.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you got it for that or reason or
No, it
you.
was a gift I think from my partner. Just
Oh,
one year, I was just like, just give me some random model, something I haven't painted before, like
oh,
even
wow.
armies that I don't even have, and that was one of them. So
That's very nice of her and a very Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I wonder if the Skaven, the Plague Claw Catapult will ever be good. Like, it hasn't been good in all of Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Um, but I've got a bunch on sprue, like that I was going to make into
Maybe someday.
yet more warp lightning cannons. I think I've got like 3 or 4 on sprue, and I've got 3 of them fully painted. They come in every box though. Do with Skaven 1 friendly models in your army, treat them as deadly terrain. Crazy. Can't wait for the Skaven Regiment of Renown to just be the Molder kit. It'll be the Warcry box all over again. Oh, I hope not. I really hope they don't do a Skaven one, and I don't think that they will. And it's not just wishful thinking. If Skaven are in fact the AOS 4 army that they're going to do, it makes sense that they wouldn't. You know what I mean? Kind of have like a weird Malign Portents style box. Although, you know what? I literally just said Malign Portents, and that's what they did in Malign Portents. They had the Fungoid Cave Shaman came out during Malign Portents, and that was before Gloomspite Gits got their first release. And same thing with Night Haunt, and Lord Ordinator was the other one. And then what was the fourth one? It was all the Grand Alliances. So Night of Shrouds for Night Haunt, Fungoid. What was the Chaos one? Hey, no one loves Skaven more than me, Robin. I have shot glasses, a wallet, homemade sweaters, like hoodies with Skaven. I am...
Underwear?
That's a great idea. Soon I will also have Skaven underwear. But my
It's gotta be like, watch out for the Nahole or something on the back.
Yeah, right where the back end is. No. I'm pooping from another dimension.
I love that you were like rubbing your hands together as you were laughing too, like.
Yeah, truly Skaven to the bone, right down to my Nahole. Gross. I am painting a Night Stalker's army for Kings of War. Pure beef. The man thing speaks aloud and jinxes us. I mean, wait, when you say I'm jinxing us, do you mean that I am going to jinx us so we don't get Skaven in AOS 4? If we don't get Skaven by AOS 4, we riot. Okay? I will be the leader of this rebellion. And Carson agrees with me, as is noted by his crazy antics with his camera right now. What's up, Darren? Thanks for joining us. We're talking about the Regiments of Renown right now. Are you going to get the Nurgle one? It looks pretty cool, man. Although I think you don't need any more Blight Kings, but some may. Carson's lost his mind. The figs have held up well, though. Which one are we talking about? Are you talking about the Malign Portents guys? You get too hopeful it will not come to pass. This has happened to me many times. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier, Keith. So is. The clan rats still look good, and I totally agree, and I actually hope we don't get a revamp on them. I think they're fine. But I hope we get Storm Vermin. I think they're a little dated. Hope is reality bane. Yeah, I mean, oh man, don't get me started. But like, what happened when the Seraphon book AOS 2 Seraphon book came out was I was predicting this, a Seraphon major release, and then it didn't happen. But then we got it anyway now. I mean, Skaven need a release so bad. I should start out the stream with the meme every day. I might make that the new end screen.
Which meme?
The Interstellar one, where it's like 1 hour here is 7 years on Earth. So in like 6 more hours, we should get new Skaven models or something like that. Yeah. It's one of my favorites. And another one of my favorites is, those like inspirational poster style memes where it's like got a black border around it. It says, there's a picture of the Screaming Bell. This meme is so old, it's before Total War. It was like an old video game with Warhammer and stuff in it, and it's a picture of the screaming bell from that video game, and it says the screaming bell. It makes a sound worse than Britney Spears, Rick Roll, and Yoko Ono combined. And it says, "Yep, it'll kill you." Perfect. Hope is real. Yeah, they look better than the Bunk Graveguard now. Those do look really goofy. I couldn't bring myself. I converted a bunch, which are right here, and I just haven't had the time to paint them. But I made them out of the new skeleton kit. And then the TS was kind enough to print up a bunch of wolf skulls to use. Whoops. Hello. By the way, Carson, if you messaged me, I have not seen it. Did you message me? Okay, cool.
I think just to say my power went out.
Oh, okay, cool. I got a bunch of Facebook messages, I know, and I just realized that. I was like, oh, darn. I can't say what Robin just said, but I don't disagree. 34 years research. Yeah. I am. Well, I started playing in 1993, so it's just 30 years of research for me. I think I had that game rummaging through wardrobe. Really? I didn't have it. I didn't have it, but I saw clips. What is going on? People were using it for like lore videos and stuff like that. Insane. In the membrane. Okay. 1989 through 2023. It started with Space Hulk. Very cool. I started with Skaven. 1993, baby. Always Space Hulk. Always. I've only played Space Hulk, and it was like, it was in the early to mid 90s, and it was like one game. But I played a bunch of the video games, and I hope that they come out with it. Now, Carson, do you know this? There was a video game that was set in Space Hulk, and you were like set in a Space Hulk, and you were going down like a corridor, right? And I remember seeing like a Gene Stealer pop into view, and you could shoot it. But I don't remember if it was like a bolt gun style game where it was like a FPS, or if it was like a sort of first person Space Hulk actual game. I thought it was Space Hulk, but I remember that game, but I don't know what it was called. And yeah.
Deathwing?
Was it called Deathwing? This is like old. Like this is super pixelated. Okay. Like it would have been like, I don't know, sometime in the 90s, I think. Like it might be older than Doom. I'm not even sure. Way back, Robin. 3DO? Is that the name of a game? Seems you were confused. The game I had was Warhammer Mark of Chaos. Sick. I don't know that game. I had Shadow of the Horned Rat, and that game was way too hard. I
remember Warhammer Mark of Chaos. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was actually part of the beta for that game.
What? That's so cool.
A long time ago. Yeah, it was like an RTS. It was super cool, actually. You had like duels between heroes and stuff like that. It was.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And Skaven weren't in it?
I know that there was like Warriors of Chaos, because that's what it was back then.
Okay.
They had greenskins. Trying to look what else. Empire, I feel like they would have had.
Probably.
Yeah. It was interesting. I liked it. I don't know whatever happened to it, though.
I meant the video game, Robin. Like, I played a video game at one point where I remember going down like a corridor in a Space Hulk, and there was a Gene Stealer, and I shot him. But it was so long ago, and so many drinks ago. Luigi started early 90s too. Saw the 4th edition Skaman Army book around Christmas time in Vancouver. What? You're from Vancouver as well? That's crazy. I went to that one. Are you talking about the one on... You must be talking about the one on Water Street, Luigi. I went to that one too with the red carpet and the several stairs you go up into the middle. And that's when I started too. I went in there. My first purchase ever was the Skaven Army book and Deathmaster Snitch, and they tried to talk me into buying the 4th edition box set, and I never bought it, and I'm still proud of myself. Inexplicably. Even though that was a better deal. I don't care. They didn't have my army. Mark of Chaos, and then the expansion Battle March. I wonder if that is the right game. Video links. PSX had 2 old Warhammer games. Did it have Shadow of the Horned Rat? It might have, actually. That might have come out for PS1. PlayStation, Gastown. Yep, the one near the statue. Yep, near the steam clock, right? Or was there a statue that I'm not thinking of? That is so nostalgic for me. Yeah.
So Mark of Chaos did have Skaven. It was...
Can you send me like a screenshot? I would love to like put it up.
Just a Mark of Chaos?
Yeah.
Or the Skaven from Mark of Chaos?
Anything. I can probably...
Anything.
What's that?
I said anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing NSFW.
Oh.
Yeah, delete. Find something else.
I'll send you some storm vermin charging into some...
Hell yeah.
Great swords.
Cool. I'll look. I'll know if I... What? Wait, Jeff and Steve. What do you mean Jeff and Steve? The Jeff I know is too young for that. Steve. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one that's from that inspiration. Oh, sorry, everyone. I'll I will open image in new tab. Boop, boop. Can you see all? Can everyone see this? That's so cool. I mean, like, I don't think anyone's going to argue that Total War isn't, you know, the shiznit, but like, but it was cool that they were trying to do stuff like that. Skaven were bad guys in Mark of Chaos. Not sure if that's the one with the bell that you were thinking of, though. Could you not play as them, Keith? I know
you
people.
Could play as them.
Oh, you could? Cool. Oh yeah, you just said that, didn't you? Skaven were, I mean, Skaven are never the bad guys. I just want to make that clear. But I can see how people would see it from that perspective. Also, watch your back. And when you stab, kill you. Okay. I do want to know more about what you're talking about, Luigi. So, because yeah, I don't know. I only know. I know one Jeff that plays Warhammer, but he wouldn't be old enough to be working there at the time. Like, I'm not old enough to be working there at the time, and he's younger than me. Oh, you put something in the Discord. It's hard to I can't really bring stuff up from the Discord. Nice. Shadow of the Horned Rat. Yeah. Oh, Space Hulk. Yes, this is the game. Good call. Space Hulk, Vengeance of the Blood Angels. I think it was on PC though, the one I had. I think this is the right one though. Or yeah, I can't show it on stream, unfortunately. The skinny ponytail guy. I don't know their names, unfortunately. I was 12 when I went in there, and I don't think I ever learned their names, Luigi. But they were mostly very nice. Oh, did he? That's really cool. Steve ran the store afterward. Huh. They were mostly really nice. One of them was telling me like the strategy for using Skaven. Like, keep in mind, I was 12 and there were no Skaven slave plastic models. And he was like, yeah, your strategy is you buy the Screaming Bell, which was like already like my planned Christmas present. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. It was super expensive. And then he's like, and then you just need like 200 slaves all around this thing. And I'm just like, 200 blister, or it wasn't 200 blister packs, but it'd be like 100 blister packs, right? Because they're like, there was like 2 each in there. I'm just going like, what? I can't afford that. I'm 12. You know, he did not care. That store was absolutely gigantic. It's bigger than any Games Workshop I've ever been in after that. Like crazy long. It was awesome. Vengeance of BA was on PlayStation and PC, but the best version of it was on the 3DO game system. What's the 3DO? Carson, my game developer friend.
No clue.
Fair. I won't
3DO.
forgive you, but it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Look it up. I'm just razzing you. There are 4 Space Hulk games for PS4. There is Deathwing. There is Space Hulk, the Tactics one, which was good, but like, I don't know. It didn't keep my attention. And I don't know the other ones. It's now some swanky art gallery. Really? Does that... Oh, man. I kind of want to go there. I'm assuming the ugly red carpet's not there anymore, which is a tragedy. Is the first link. Okay. I don't know what a 3DO is, but that's cool.
So I just looked it up, and 3DO is like a console that Panasonic released a long time ago.
Whoa, really? I
Yep.
didn't know that. Very cool. I knew the Neo Geo, but 3DO I didn't know. There was even that basement part of it where they primed all their stuff. I don't think I ever went down there. Space Hulk Ascension, Deathwing, Space Hulk Tactics, right. I only played Tactics and Deathwing. And Deathwing was a terrible... well, in my opinion, it was not a great PS4 game because the net code was so bad that, like, we played the first level, my cousin and I, like 15 times, and we disconnected every single time before we could finish the level. And you couldn't come back in. It just clipped out. It was so frustrating because it was a good game other than that. Like, it was actually a fun game. It was very moody. You're in the dark and blasting away, you know. You must away. We're about to end it as well anyway. This has been really fun, though. A particularly fun one, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, as always, to my co-host, the man from the meat dimension, that is.
The meat dimension.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to bring up before we call it a night, my friend?
Nope.
I wasn't talking to you. I said friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't show him, it affected me. How do you have that there? How do you have that there? Is that a prop you readied like ahead of time? Oh my God, that's godlike. Well played. What is that? Is that Play-Doh? Why do you have Play-Doh? Do you use that for priming? Please tell me you use it.
What is in here?
Play-Doh?
No, it's not Play-Doh. Why would it be Play-Doh? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm just thinking.
No, it's like these dice that my brother 3D printed for me.
Oh.
They kind of look like this.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Neat. Wow. Did you paint the numbers?
He did.
Oh, neat. Wow.
Yep.
Good brother. You feel sold.
What a great brother.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks as always, guys, for hanging out. It's always more fun when we have some funny comments, and there were lots of that tonight. And for any and all Army enthusiasm, it's not, you can't see anything. It's just, there you go. Your Play-Doh keeps quantum leaping. We can't see it. It keeps quantum leaping into another dimension. There we go. Again, it's gone. It's through a knothole. Thanks to everyone for watching. I really enjoyed it tonight, guys. I got 0 painting done as usual, but I did get all my painting tools out, so progress, I guess. Yeah, my pleasure, guys. That was fun. You all have a good night, and say goodbye, Carson.
Bye, Carson.
Yes.